Hi Harsha, thank you for joining us. This is Margaret Sethi. I first of all want to ask you about your amazing cricketing commentary career, where you've earned yourself the title of the voice of cricket. And during this period, you've also had quite a deep relationship with Western Australia. So, could you touch upon briefly about your relationship with the tourism board?
I was very, I'm formally actually a friend of Australia, but I was very happy to do this bit with Tourism WA because for some reason, much like when people come to India, they think India is Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and there's hell of a lot more. So similarly, the classical places to go to have been Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast, whatever. And I used to love Perth as a city, really love Perth. I first went to Perth in '91, so I have memories of Perth from then, going up to Kings Park up there. It was lovely. Uh, the one thing I've always done in Perth, every single time I go back, and I've gone back 8 or 9 times now, is to take a walk along the river. It is gorgeous. So I never missed the opportunity to do that. So when they said, look, there's much more to WA, so I was able to go to Rottnest. When my wife and me went last time, we went to one of these places that open the oysters for pearls. So as a gift, they let her open two, and guess what? One of them was that size. So she still got it. She still wears it. So we discovered there's so much more to Australia than just the three main towns. So I enjoyed being with WA. I went to Rottnest, which of course Roger Federer made famous with his cocker selfie. And I got a fabulous selfie, man, because they told me what to do with the selfie and how to get that cocker to smile, and you know how you hold it up a little bit. When he looks up, he looks
Yeah.
like he's smiling. So it was beautiful. This time, I went to some unbelievable places. Margaret River. If you like wine, then it's unbelievable places to go to. Margaret River, Swan Valley. We drove back, fabulous places. I hope I've not told you everything in one answer.
Exactly, that was going to be my next question.
Go on, go on.
Um,
So I'll tell you a
yeah,
little bit more about this.
yeah. So my next question is going to be around in 1992, you were the first Indian commentator to ever be commentating on an overseas series. So I want you to reflect back on your relationship back in the days.
Two incredible things happened on the field in Western Australia on that trip. One was India were playing West Indies in a one-day game, and it was a complete team-oriented, as you know, the old WACA. If you ask India what do you know about Perth, the average Indian in those days, he would say WACA, pace bounce. That's what people knew about Western Australia. There used to be an Air India office there, and there's lots more. But for India, WACA, pace bounce. So India bowled out their 40 overs of fast bowlers, but there's still what 8 9 runs left for West Indies to win one wicket in hand. And Tendulkar bowled the 41st over, seam up, and took a wicket. It was a fabulous game. And then towards the end of that series, he played one of the greatest hundreds I've ever seen in my life. In all these years, it would rank in the top five innings that I have seen, where a young fellow on his first tour to Australia played a hundred of unparalleled beauty. And WACA is a huge ground. Even now, if you stay in one of the apartments close to the WACA, from the window where I stayed this time in the Fraser Suites, from my window I could see the WACA and you could see the expanse. So we would say if the ball goes to the boundary, you have to send an auto rickshaw to get it back. Big
Wow.
boundaries. And this one, so my earliest memories of WACA were very nice because of these two performances that I
Yeah,
saw.
that's wonderful. That's amazing. So, I happen to be actually personally a big fan of yours. Apart from what you do at Western Australia, I got to know about you, discovered you back in the days when I used to watch cricket with my father. And I also happen to stalk you a lot on Instagram and X. And I saw you recently posted a video of you taking a plane at the Margaret River. So could you just tell us about your experience at the Margaret River?
There's two things about Australia. One is the quality of light that you get in Australia is incredible. So that is why a lot of people think they use better cameras than we do in India. They don't. It's just that the quality of light is so exquisite. It's so beautiful that everything stands out. So when you're in the air on one of those planes, you're seeing fabulous light. And because of the light, the water appears a different shade of blue. So when you're in the air, when you're going on the plane to Margaret River, it's a sight to behold, man, when you go on that plane. And then the plane, it just lands somewhere, and there's this lady from the brewery waiting outside, and you think, yeah, okay, I virtually landed in the Margaret River brewery. And the quality of wines that we tasted, something I said since when Australia started making white wines, man. Australia made red wine country, hard red wines. The white wines I tasted at Margaret River. If I had never tasted red wine in my life, I wouldn't have drunk red wine. It was unbelievable, the quality of the Rieslings and the Chardonnays. And the thing with all these places in Australia is you think you're going to a vineyard, but the food is exquisite. It's unbelievable because they take great pride in their produce. So they would say, this is our produce. This is what we are going to do with it. And हर produce के पीछे ना 5 मिनट की कहानी होगी हर डिश के पहले, हर डिश के साथ.
Right, okay.
Now we've done this and this pace, and there's this big romance about it. It's like me talking about a Tendulkar back foot shot, man. You might say it's just a shot. I'll tell you about 5 minutes. So, the quality of food, how they pair the wines was fantastic. So we went by the plane, but when you come back by road, you realize that you're never too far from the sea. The sea is actually running parallel to you all the way back from Margaret River to Perth. And you can stop where you want. You can stop where you want, and it's just unbelievable how beautiful it was. So we stopped at one or two places. I don't know if you've seen the film that they made of it with the drone shots. Country is, if you have a camera, you romance WA.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. One can actually only experience it when they're actually there. But how you described it was actually truly exceptional as well.
No, it was fantastic. Next day we went up this new Optus Stadium. So for a lot of us, Perth is WACA. So the new Optus Stadium, we do a walk on top.
Yeah.
And you get fabulous views from there because between the WACA and the Optus Stadium is an entire set of water bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So and we were very lucky. We were very, very lucky with the weather. Then we went to Swan Valley. When we went to Swan Valley, came back, was a memorable 2 days.
Well, yeah, that's truly fantastic. Well, my next question is around, you've spoken about Rottnest Island, you've spoken about Perth. Beyond these well-known spots, what are some hidden gems that you haven't yet spoken about and you want the travelers to know about?
We stopped at two places on the way, and you just walk on the sand on the beach. And we stopped at one place, you could stop at 3 other places. You stop at this one place, and literally when you say silvery sands, white, absolute white. So we stop there, then we go further and they say it's one of the longest jetties in the world. Busselton jetty. And you just walk and you walk and you walk, and it juts all the way out into the water by itself.
And that was amazing.
No, it genuinely was. It genuinely was amazing. And I didn't know about these places. I hadn't been to these places before. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. Yeah. Well, we know about how cricket is actually a unifying sport and how Australia is known for its cricketing culture. I want you to shed light on how sports can really promote and boost tourism amongst two countries, especially when this recent BGT Border Gavaskar Trophy happened, and a lot of the stadium was actually filled with blue jerseys. What do you have to say about that?
It happens all over the world. It's not only India, Australia. It happens all over the world. where there's sports linked tourism. So people will say, I want to go and see a Formula One race there, or I want to go to that golf tournament there, I want to go to a Euro final, I want to go to a World Cup football final, or I want to go to the Olympics. But for us Indians, cricket being that big, so there's a lot of emerging cricket tourism. And now Perth has emerged as a proper test match venue. So the day before the game, you go to a breakfast at Perth. Everyone's excited about the game because there's a cricket culture there. There's a test match cricket culture there. They'll come and watch the Big Bash. They'll come and watch. I was there for the T20 World Cup. They'll come and they'll fill the house for the T20 World Cup. But the culture for watching test match cricket in Perth. So initially it was grudgingly they moved from WACA to Optus because all the old timers are used to watching it at the WACA. But now it's been five test matches there now. They've slowly started getting used to the fact that as a fan experience, Optus offers you a fabulous fan experience. And W has always thrown up great players, either homegrown great players or people who moved to WA to try their luck, like Gilly, for example. Like Adam Gilchrist moved from New South Wales and is now hardcore WA and enjoys it there. What they've also done at Optus is they've ensured that the tracks are not dissimilar to WACA. So the soil that was used to make the pitches in WACA is very similar to the soil that's been used to make pitches at the Optus. Because can you imagine, you suddenly go to Perth and you got a batting paradise and you say, what is this? So they've ensured that the character of the WACA is replicated in Optus. And I was so happy to see so many Indians traveling to, because the spectator experience is very good. When you buy a ticket, you know exactly where your seat is going to be. You can land up 10 minutes before, and you know you'll get there. You'll get there in time. Once the game is over, you disperse very quickly. It's a lovely spot. You can just walk over the river back to your place because Perth is not such a big city. And if you're a walking person, if you go to Australia, you have to be a walking person. You must walk. It's a great driving country, but within the city, it's a great walking city. So it's a very good spectator engagement venue.
Yeah, I also asked you a few cricketing questions, so excuse me for that. But yeah, you've given us some amazing moments to cherish as cricket fans. So thank you on behalf of all the cricket fans for the job that you do. Sachin's poignant farewell and that Virat Kohli goes down the ground, Kohli goes out of the ground. That was fantastic. And these are some moments that are going to stay with us as cricket fans till the time we don't stop watching cricket. And I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, thank you so much.
No worries. I'm just hoping that in course of time, one day there's a direct flight from India to Perth. And if there's a direct flight from India to Perth, it'll just... Perth is logically, in many ways, the entry point to Australia. So as the crow flies, Chennai to Perth is not very long.
Yes.
Chennai to Perth will be just a little more than Chennai to Singapore, as the crow flies.
Indeed.
So Perth can actually emerge as a logical entry point into Australia. So you're not making a huge long flight, you're getting into Australia. Culturally, you're in the same country, in a beautiful part of the world. And then you spend some time in Perth, then you can continue on. So I'm hoping that happens. We have to, in about a year's time, I see the number of Indians traveling to Australia just going through the roof. It's already is. Indians are already among the leading travelers to Australia. In about a year's time, as you get better connectivity out of India, as Air India starts getting its bigger planes, better planes, and once they finish the Western Europe, US sector, start moving towards the Far East sector, Eastern and Far Eastern sector, then you start seeing when flights start to get easier. Already visas have become a little easier. Earlier it used to be, there used to be a blockade. Now it's become a little easier. But as the number of tourists increase, as the free trade agreements increase, as the Quad arrangement allows our countries to get closer, it'll just get easier.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I think that there's quite an affinity towards Australia amongst Indians, and if actually direct flight open up, this would be actually quite a boost for inbound tourism into Australia from India into Australia.
There's one other thing in WA. You asked me other places you go to. I went to this. Australia prides itself on coffee, right? And guys from Melbourne always say because the Italians and the Greeks went to Melbourne, they say Melbourne is the home of Australian coffee and whatever. And I learned to drink good coffee there. So these we went to this place in WA, this little coffee roastery. I bought some coffee from there to take for my son, and thoda my izzat with my son grew because that was unbelievable coffee. You'll find that wherever there is wine, there is coffee. It's a peculiar thing. Where there's wine, there's coffee, and I had some of my best coffee in WA. That was an amazing spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that also makes me wonder how in terms of the food scene there.
Very very easy, very
Yeah.
easy because a lot of us are vegetarian.
Mm.
And it's a very easy country to be vegetarian in. I've never had problems. England be Australia be never had problems being vegetarian over there. And especially if you go into those
Yeah.
smaller towns with the fresh produce,
Oh,
and you can just
yeah.
pluck asparagus from the ground and eat it, man. Anyway, good chatting with you. Yeah.
Yeah, Harsha, thank you for the fantastic conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. Take care.
What?
See you. That was the interview, guys. I hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had with Harsha Bhogle, the one and only Harsha Bhogle with us, the cricketing commentary legend. Well, I had a fantastic time. I hope you did too. So don't forget to drop a like, comment, and do care to subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms.